few years ago, I was living alone in a little house which had a heavy back door that would swell up some after it rained and get really tough to open and make a lot of noise. Late one night, I passed out on my sofa in the living room on the opposite side of the house, but woke up to something which I now assume was the back door being opened. I'm an idiot, by the way, and used to never lock the back door. Always lock your doors, people. I slowly squinted my eyes open and realized there was a black outline of someone standing in the hallway, looking at me. They were not very large or tall based on how much space they took up in the doorframe. Being completely disoriented in my waking state, my mind latched on to the first thought that came to mind, which was that it must be my girlfriend. I was naked at the time and pulled back my blanket with my legs sprawled and junk hanging out. I called to her in my best sexy voice, "Come here, baby." Upon discovering a naked 6-foot, 200-pound man beckoning to them with his genitalia, the not my girlfriend person immediately turned on their heels, revealing a large backpack, and booked it for the back door. By the time I stumbled up to the door, all I could hear was them taking off into the darkness at a full sprint. I can only guess, based on their height, that they did not come there with the bold intention of being the little spoon. Practically ran for their life, eh? At full sprint, no less. He must be hung like a well. Congratulations, my man. TV shows and movies usually depict abductors driving white or black vans. I didn't realize this until I decided to buy a white 1994 Dodge Ram cargo van to haul some of the gear I needed for work. While driving it, I've been pulled over by cops and searched 3 times for no reason, but that is another story. The point is, some people see vans as suspicious. One day, while returning home, a woman pushing a stroller stared at me for a long time while I drove along my home street. We have speed bumps, and I had a lot of expensive, delicate gear in the van, so I was driving very slow. She stared at me, wide-eyed, the entire time, so I smiled at her, like a friendly neighbor does. She was staring so intently, she almost walked the stroller right off the edge of the curb. I thought it was funny and almost forgot about it. A week later, our HOA email thread heats up when a resident sends out a notice that his wife and toddler were being stalked by a man in a white van. Fearing a pitchfork and torch mob mistaking me for the creeper, I replied to all, saying I live in the neighborhood and also drive a white van. I even provided my license plate number and home address. Big mistake. No kidding, that was just dumb. Jokingly, I added that I also witnessed a suspicious person in the neighborhood, a woman with a stroller who was staring at me so long and hard it made me uncomfortable. I provided the date, time of the incident, to see if their alleged stalker was actually me. This is beyond stupid. It was. Dude got triggered. He started sending email after email, CCing everyone on the list, telling me he can read between the lines of what I was saying. His accusations became more and more ludicrous and turned into personal attacks. Several neighbors on the email list replied that he was behaving badly. The emails eventually stopped, but things eventually got weirder. Good thing you told the world your address, right? Good call. On several occasions while out walking my dog, a 10-ish-year-old girl would come out of her house, run over to me, awkwardly chat me up about my dog, and give me strangely intimate details about her life. I wonder why this kid was talking to strangers, but thought maybe she just knew me from the neighborhood, so I politely played along. Then one day the girl shows up at my house. She said she was angry because her dad wouldn't let her have a dog like mine, so she wanted to visit my dog for a while. Oh man, I don't like where this is going. I told her I needed to talk to her parents before I could ever let her visit my home like this. She said okay and left, and I never saw her anymore. I have 2 daughters, and one of their friends told me the girl who was chatting me up is the daughter of the triggered dude from the HOA email list. He had been sending her out to talk to me, and taking pictures. My daughter's friend was friends with this bait girl. The poor girl's dad was making his own daughter uncomfortable, which is why she confided in her friend. The dad was sending his daughter out to chat with me so he could accuse me of I don't know what. One detail I forgot to mention. I have dash cams in all my vehicles and CCTV monitoring my front door. So the initial incident with the wife, as well as the girl coming to my door, were recorded. I emailed the triggered dude and kindly offered him copies of videos of each incident. I also told him I was concerned that his daughter was behaving inappropriately towards strangers. Apparently this scuttled his plan, as I never heard from him again. Listen, people are crazy. I want you to listen very closely to my next words. Never give out your address to complete strangers. Until next time. This was years ago, but I still tell this story to friends anytime I get the chance. I was the baddie in someone's Let's Not Meet. Now, for those who don't know, Let's Not Meet is a reference to stories of people who felt they dodged a bullet by not meeting someone for whatever reason, typically due to creepy behavior. When I was in high school, I entered a relationship with a very close friend named Ivory. After Ivory and I broke up, we stayed good friends. When Ivory's birthday came around, she asked me to come to the birthday party she was having. The first leg of the evening was at a restaurant I'd never been to a few towns over. Afterward, we would all return to a mutual friend's house for beverages and relaxation. One of Ivory's friends had volunteered to drive us all to the restaurant, but I had heard plenty of stories about her terrible driving. As a result, I opted to chauffeur myself in my luxurious minivan. Yes, I drove a minivan in high school. Ivory's friend told me 7 p.m., so at 7 p.m. my black ass rolled into the parking lot. I called Ivory to let her know I had arrived, but they were just leaving. I overheard Ivory tell a friend, if you tell Sip of Sunshine 7, he's there at 7. Sip of Sunshine? Oh, okay. This all meant I had about a half hour of boredom before I'd have company. Being the introvert I am, I decided not to go inside and wait like a normal person. Instead, I decided to listen to whatever angsty music I was into at the time, probably Heartbeat by Childish Gambino. Moreover, I also didn't park right near the restaurant. The restaurant was located in a plaza, a strip with several other stores along either side. For some reason, I thought it'd be weird for patrons to see me just sitting there like some waiting weirdo. Instead, I parked at the far end of the plaza, by the supermarket. I could still see the restaurant, and there were fewer cars on this side of the parking lot. 5 minutes go by. I'm rapidly switching through songs. 10 minutes go by. I'm bored like a piece of pine in a woodshop class. What? Piece of pine in a woodshop class? I haven't heard that one. Moving on. Out of the abyssal silence of boredom, I felt the hum of a text come through. Ivory had texted me, thank God, a brief reprieve from this boredom. As I'm composing a response, I get this weird feeling. You know that feeling like someone is watching you? Like you can almost hear their eyes? Hear their eyes, I like that. I felt something unnerving, so I looked up from the glow of my phone into the darkness before me. What I saw was a family of 4. There was a woman, her husband, and their 2 children. All 4 were looking at me intensely. The woman was standing in front of her 2 children with her hands outstretched, as though to shield them from a proleptic and palpable existential danger. Wow, that was a mouthful. The look in her eyes was of sheer horror, like a waiter had asked her, "Is Pepsi okay?" I have never seen such utter panic so visible on someone's face, and I once had to physically intervene to prevent an armed assailant from attacking someone. The woman slowly creeped forward, family inching behind her. She began moving toward the driver's side, closer to me with each step, and with each step, her terror rising. At this point, I'm beginning to panic because I have no clue why this woman or her family are snarling at me so aggressively. Did they mistake me for a name I'm not even going to try to pronounce? Without warning, the husband says something I could not hear through the glass. He extends his arm and points to my left. His wife, children, and I all simultaneously follow his hand. He was pointing 5 spots to the left of my car where an almost identical one sat. The mother threw her head back in a single burst of laughter as she unlocked her car. The family left the grocery store to find a black teen dressed in all black sitting in their car. He then proceeded to maintain eye contact for what felt like an eternity. My perplexed expression likely appeared as a more sinister one, especially in this crepuscular light. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Not going to Google it. Moving on. I'm just glad they realized where their car was before anyone got hurt or police got called. So family who thought I was in their car at night, I promise we can totally meet. I'm actually a really nice guy who doesn't steal cars. Wow, that's crazy. I can only imagine that people misconstruing a situation like this has ended in worse, much far worse results. And I'm just glad that this young man nothing happened to this young man, and I'm glad that everything was okay at the end. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more or simply like to support my channel, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps out. Until next time.